All right. My name is Johnny, and this is Live with Johnny. We're going to go ahead and get started here in just a second. Make sure you're letting your people know that we are live on the air. This is going to be a very, very good topic, an interesting topic. We are going to talk about the youth violence in Peoria. So, we're going to get things set up here in just a second, and we're going to start in about 30 seconds. So, make sure you let everybody know that this show is going live right now. All right, y'all, we are back. I want to say what's up to everybody out there. I also want to say, talk about this weekend a little bit. We had Taste of the Hood, and it was a really nice event. It went down in Peoria, Illinois, and I mean, some really good food. And hopefully it grows. I know it was a little bit cold yesterday, but hopefully it grows the next event, which I know it probably will because a lot of people express like their interest, and even people were thinking about coming up with different businesses and stuff that they cook at home. That's like, I can sell this and I can make money from doing something that I like at home and just bring it here to the Taste of the Hood, so everybody can taste what you're cooking at the house. You know what I'm saying? So that's very important. And then people want to start businesses and things like that. It's a good way to start a business, to do pop-up shops that brings people to you, and then you can kind of test your product out. So doing pop-up shops is very good for small businesses wanting to test their product out before they go mainstream. So make sure that you tap in. And the next one I think is going to be a little bit bigger. And some lady, I have to make sure I get a business card. She's doing a pop-up shop here in Peoria later on in the month. And that's going to be a big thing too. So make sure that y'all take advantage of all of the pop-up shops and just tap in. It's a very good way to get small businesses interact with people and kind of see what they're doing and what kind of products they're pushing out there. So I think it's a dope thing. Also, before I get started here, I want everybody to know that I am live on a few different platforms. So, and actually, let me see here. I'm live on a few different platforms, social media platforms. We are on 4 as of now, so it's constantly growing and growing, and I think that's a great thing. See, let me tap into TikTok. I haven't, you know what? It's crazy because you get so busy and you have all of these platforms, and I was supposed to go live on TikTok yesterday for the Taste of the Hood, but like I said, you get so busy and you're on all of these platforms and you just forget, and I think that's crazy. But we're gonna get caught up. Trust and believe, we are gonna get caught up with everything. So just bear with me. If you have any suggestions, things like that, let me know so I can definitely get things out there and get you guys in a good spot. Let me see here. Oh wow. So this is crazy. Like TikTok has really given us a great opportunity to do some things. So right here, I can go live with my TikTok camera. I can go live from both front and back cameras. So these platforms are really allowing us to do a lot of good things, and I appreciate that. It is definitely a win to be able to do different things on different platforms and stuff like that. So I don't even know how to get out of this mode. Maybe I'll just stay on this mode. But once again, Taste of the Hood, make sure that you tap into the very next one. It's going to be dope. A lot of dope people. You get to meet people, you get to interact with people and stuff like that. So I think it's a great time for you to be able to get your product out there. So, like I said before, we are live on a few different platforms. We're live on TikTok, we're live on Instagram, we're live on YouTube, and we are live on Facebook. So, a lot of dope things happening. The topic I want to talk about today, y'all, is the violence in Peoria. Now, just today, or actually, yeah, just today. Well, let's talk about today. Just today, they had a big fight. I seen somebody post on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? And then earlier this week, you had another incident where it was a big fight. I think 2 adults got arrested, but it was like almost 40 kids. That was last week. It was almost 40 kids fighting last week. 40 kids fighting. That's insane. Somebody had brought a gun, pistol whipped one of the girls. I'm going to say that again. Pistol whipped one of the girls. So if you got daughters, don't feel like your daughters are safe. All right. These are male and females. And right now, for whatever reason, females be some of the most charged up people when it comes to fighting. They be the ones that want to fight. So do not think that because you got a daughter, your daughter is safe and she got to pass. No, females are some of the most aggressive people out there right now, ready to fight. The thing about it, which makes it dangerous, is that people have guns. These kids are getting access to guns. Whether the kids have or the parents have guns in their house. Thank you, Twitter, for sending up the emoji. Because, yo, when I'm on Facebook in Peoria, we don't get emojis. At least I don't. Like, they act like they don't understand how this works. But thank you for starting that off. But you have to understand, these kids have access to guns. It's not like back in my childhood when all you had was rocks or, you know what I'm saying, females would bring knives to the fight. So it's elevated now. And now you have guns being brought to the fights. And these kids are charged up. They ready to go. They ready to show their loyalty to their hood or to their people or whatever. It's a different time that we live in. You have to understand that on top of that, we live in a social media world to where fights can escalate very quick. And everybody can just structure a fight to like set up a fight. Like, we're going to meet here and we're going to fight because of social media. And us as parents, we may not even know about it because a lot of us parents spend a lot of our time on Instagram. These kids ain't necessarily on. A lot of. I'm sorry. Let me say it again. A lot of parents spend a lot of their time on Facebook. These kids are on Instagram and Snapchat. So you may have your kids' Facebook, but you not necessarily going to have their Snapchat. And there's other platforms for kids that are coming out that we may know nothing about. So they have ways where they can mobilize, meet at certain areas, and fight. We live in a world where we don't really understand how powerful the social media is because they are using it to record fights. Everybody trying to go viral, right? Everybody trying to go viral. And I don't necessarily knock the kids because they didn't come up with this. I used to see adults fighting and recording it. I'm getting the camera and recording. So they're only going to do what the adults did and make it better. So that's kind of what's happening. Everybody want to go viral. Everybody want the best video and shit like that. We get to a point, and you see it, and this is what I'm seeing. You see it like when it's like a Sunday. There's no school, obviously, today. It's a Sunday. And this is where they chose to start the violence, is on a Sunday. Imagine when school let out and they're gonna be free just Monday through Sunday. This ain't shit going on Monday through Sunday, and they're able to focus squarely on causing trouble, squarely on fighting. We had a rash of cars being stolen here in Peoria, actually across the country. What do you think is gonna happen when the summer hit? It's probably gonna be 10 times worse than it was. Because nothing's changed. One thing I didn't know, if you're 16 and you steal a car, you're not really charged as an adult. And these kids know that. So it's worth them to do the little crime and get away with it. Get a slap on the wrist. And boom, I'm done with it. This summer, I think, is going to be one of the worst summers we saw. Because as you see, the violence is happening already. It's not even hot yet. Today wasn't even hot yet. And you know what they say, when it gets hot, like the violence picks up. Today wasn't even hot. And you already saw like the violence ticking up. My biggest thing is, it doesn't seem, and I don't know what everybody's doing, but I can't see enough parents even speaking about what's happening. I see them recording it, but recording is only gonna make it more popular, because kids are sitting back like, you see them record that, it's making them famous. That's what they're looking at, it's making them famous. If all we're gonna do is just get out and grab a video camera and record the shit, that ain't gonna do nothing. That's not gonna stop them. That's not gonna deter them. That's not gonna do none of that. We gotta be proactive as parents, grandparents. Some of us are grandparents. We gotta be proactive, because guess what? Eventually, it's gonna trickle down. If they're stealing cars, they're not gonna be stealing their friends' cars. They're breaking their houses. They're not gonna be breaking their friends' houses. 9 times out of 10, their peers' houses. They're gonna be breaking in your house. They're gonna be stealing your cars. And see, I think that's what we don't think about. We think that as long as it's happening with them, it's the youth, gonna shake our head at them, damn, they fucked up in the head, you know what I'm saying, and move on with our life. It's going to eventually come back and bite us. I've seen it firsthand. We're going to have to deal with it sooner or later, whether it's at the beginning or in the midst of it. We're going to have to deal with it. Because a lot of these parents, and I'm not knocking no parents, but a lot of these parents are not raising their kids the way they're supposed to be raised at the house. They're not punishing them. They're not checking on what they're doing. In Chicago, a lot of those rappers' murders happen on social media, Facebook, Instagram. The beef kicked off. Now you got the industry hyping everybody up. Like, instead of just calling truths, I'm gonna say the worst thing I possibly can about you. What do you think that's gonna do to our kids? If the industry is teaching you that the way to get points is to say the worst thing you can about your enemies, the people that you don't like, because words hurt. Words are effective. Words are very effective. And these are entertainers doing words, but they're probably never gonna fight. They just making money. They may be mad at each other, but they're just making money. But as an adult, you know, even if somebody pissed you off or whatever, you try to work it out. You don't just go and promote to the world that how you feel about it. But that's what social media has allowed us to do. It gave us a platform to go spill our beef and tell millions of people how you feel. That's what social media has allowed us to do. With just a push of a button, record. Even if we're not stars, we're able to go on Instagram and things like that and reach a lot of people. Mass communication. And that's not a good thing. Everybody wasn't meant to be able to reach a lot of people. It's not a good thing. Some things should be left to just you and the person that you're beefing with. But because of social media, we're able to reach out to a lot of people. And you may say something and want to take it back later, but you're not able to. And now it's an atmosphere. Somebody screen recorded, screenshotted it, and it's gonna play itself out now. That's the type of world that we live in. These kids need our help. They need our help. And it doesn't seem like anybody is rushing to give them any type of help. I was on South End last week, and these kids were talking about how somebody got shot, and they were talking about they was kind of being lighthearted about it, like they options out here, they options out to get them. They was watching their back. That's how these kids feel. Because they got to watch their back constantly because they don't know if the options out there, if somebody's trying to take them out. That's scary to live like that. And then our kids are living like that. So if they had a chance to arm themselves, to protect themselves, what do you think they're going to do? Nowadays, you don't know who got a gun or who ready to use it. You don't know. It could be the kid that you yelling at, telling them to get away from your car, and they got a gun. We don't know. You don't know who have a gun anymore because guns are so easy to get. It may be a reason for that. A lot of parents are getting guns and not securing them, and the kids know where they at. There is no way you can tell me that every single gun owner, white or black, is locking their gun up or hiding from their kids. Nine times out of ten, their kids know they got a gun and where it's at. If they get upset, guess what? They got access to that gun. If they get scared that somebody's gonna shoot them, they got access to that gun. And we living in a very, very hyper violent world right now. So all of these things are gonna start showing its ugly head in society. What are we doing about it? Who's speaking up about it? It should be programs in place. We could have hit summer in a month and a half. Will be a summer. A month and a half. What programs are in place for kids? So keep that in mind, y'all. We can ignore it today, but sooner or later, we're gonna have to face it. We're gonna have to deal with it. We're gonna have to deal with it sooner or later. That's just anything in general. If you put it off today, tomorrow it's gonna come back and bite you. So I'm gonna end it with that. I hope some of y'all catch what I'm telling you, that it's time to start figuring out how we can help our kids, these kids out here in these streets. So with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. My name is Johnny, and this is the Johnny Show. Thank y'all for watching.